Hold up. Let him
Alright guys, so we're into this part 3, first drive of the game. I come out and lo and behold, pre-snap read, he's in cover 0. It's easy work for me. I love it when they come out in cover 0. It just makes the game so much easier for me to be effective. So I won't go over the drive aspect. I just go ahead and score. And hey, we're going to go up 7-0. Or so I thought, right? So go for the kick, and lo and behold, we get a block kicked. Hey, that happens, right? Not a big deal. But I was really pissed off at my kicker right here. Watch my kicker. Watch how after the block has already happened, he's still looking at the goalpost with his foot all the way up in the air. That's because he's stuck in an animation because of Madden, right? There's nothing really organic about how Madden operates. So it is what it is. 6-2. That's a huge swing. That's a 3-point swing, right? So I'm already pissed off. Anyways, comes out in the wing set, and there's a reason why I shifted towards this side, and I like to user the safety in cover 2 here. And I do this because when we user the safety on this side, we can actually add an extra defender in the box. So if you don't know, if you don't user the safety in cover 2, they do not have run fit responsibilities. So you will see them drift off in the space even against the run. But because we user this player, we can read the down blocks by the 1 and number 2 here. And if they block, then we can fulfill run gap responsibilities. And what I do is I just always make my outside corner right. So if you want me to make a video on that, I can. And as you can see, they do get a 3-yard gain. He actually did run it backside, and we were able to fulfill and help out the run. So he runs it again. Now watch this motion. So I shift towards the motion so we can help out in numbers. And I'm going to replay the backside safety. We're in cover 2. And watch, this is a snap of the ball. You see how he's backpedaling to get into his deep half? That's because, again, he's a cover 2 safety. He doesn't have a run fit responsibility. And the reason why I show that is because that's how our safety would play if we don't user the safety in a formation like this. And I like to use that safety because I'm not afraid of 2 tight ends vertically stretching me deep down the field. Okay. So this is 3rd and 4. This is a money down. So here we get to see what players like their go-to play, I would assume. And he actually went to a play that he never returned to. But I actually went to cover 4 quarters, and I'm like, hey, it's going to play like 3 sight, and that's a coverage that the game actually plays against this formation. So I was excited to see how it plays out, but it actually didn't in that play. And it didn't because the back blocked first, and then he leaked out to the flat. Had he have went to the flat right now, as if he was going on a wheel, then I believe that's how it triggers into the 3 sight. If you don't know what 3 sight is, check out my last video. So this right here, when I saw this motion, I was like, uh-oh, right? Because when you play cover 4 palms and match coverage, when they go to 4 strong like this or motion into it, we drop into spot drop zone coverage. But lo and behold, spot drop zone cover 4 actually plays that motion swing very well. And I was surprised to see that, so we do get the ball back. But that play will come into fruition later on. So I got a field goal, we're back on defense. Now he checks into this 3 tight end formation, and look at the problem. You see how we're in cover 2 zone? I like to play cover 2 and play that safety on the tight end side. Problem is, if he runs to this side, you see how that safety drifted off into space. Now we have issues here in run fits because the safety isn't going to trigger down while playing cover 2. So I went cover 2 again against the same formation, hoping that he wouldn't return back to that same run on that side, and he does it again, right? So you do it to me twice. Now I'm going to have to figure something out because the run fits on that side is going to be a problem with the safety drifting off into space. So I believe this is where I decided to make an adjustment. And watch how I took Patrick Surtain, our best corner, and I put him on the wide receiver side over here. And the reason why I did this is because now I'm going to man up that receiver one-on-one while in cover 2. And I'm going to user this safety so I can trigger down on a weak side run. The reason why I put Surtain over here is because if it is a play action or a deep pass, I'm comfortable with my corner matching up one-on-one with this wide receiver. So that's the benefit of having a really good corner. It allows you to do certain adjustments like this. So watch what I do. Now on the safety, I can trigger down. Watch how I fulfill the outer gap so he doesn't stretch outside like he was doing. I rotate a little bit late. I fulfill my responsibility and spill the back inside. So my linebacker is going to make a play here, right? And he doesn't, right? So you'll see later on, whoever that player is, I'm going to go look it up. That guy is garbage, at least in this game, or it could be coding, who knows, right? So again, I do it again, right? And this time he runs to the opposite side. So we're forcing him to run to where we have the numbers. So our adjustment is working in our favor, right? So we'll speed this along and get to some more impactful stuff here. Okay, he goes weak slot close again. Okay, I make a shift. Okay, I think he ran mesh here. Yeah, he ran mesh and he threw it directly to the flat. And the reason why I showed this is because it will come into play later on as we were running cover 3 buzz here. Okay, so next play. Yeah, this guy was tough, man. He ran counter here, and it's just a really good run. If you rewatch that, my defensive end should have been able to make a play, but he didn't. Okay, so it is what it is. We go ahead and score, and our opponent drives on the next drive. I come so close to a sack, and my deep middle safety didn't drive on the ball down the middle of the field. He throws it up and gets really close. He decides to go goal line. This is how you stop goal line QB sneak. You stop it with gaps all linebacker. You shift the linebackers in, you pinch down, and then you run commit in the middle. I've had a guy 1 yard away try to QB sneak it 4 times in a row, and we stop it 4 times in a row. That's how you stop that. So lo and behold, gun tray open offset again. I'm like, what is he gonna run here, right? I didn't know. And then when I saw that motion, I knew. I'm like, oh no. And I was in 2-man, and there it is. Okay, so that play is actually extremely good against 2-man. And well, actually 2-man and cover 1-man. So if you call a match coverage like cover 4 palms, that's what I have called here, we're not going to play zone against 4 verts here. It will convert into man-to-man coverage, as you see here, right? So it's better to have it that way so you have answers that they send 4 verts. The problem with Madden is if they motion into 4 strong like this, Madden does not have it coded for your defense to properly defend this in a match coverage based upon what I've seen. It will just immediately turn the entire coverage into spot drop coverage. So I've said this before, if you wanted to build a scheme, a damn near unstoppable scheme, you could just build a scheme from a 4 strong set, because Madden doesn't have the proper tools we need to deal with a particular formation like this. Okay, so watch how we snap the ball and our zone is just spot drop. They don't match the routes deep down the field, and that's a potential problem. Okay, so here I show it on replay, and as you can see, this is the same defense, right? But I just motioned the back over there. So that's why when he ran this play, this is against 2-man. You can see how good it is against 2-man and cover 1-man. Okay, when we get that motion, it's really hard to react if you have a match coverage like cover 4 called. So that's why I panicked when he originally did this. I think he did it twice so far in the game. And I panicked because he motioned in the 4 strong, and I wanted to make an adjustment, but again, they just snapped the ball before you can make an adjustment. So this is a really good play because it's good against cover 1-man, cover 2-man, man-to-man defenses, and etc. So 3rd and 4, he ends up going to mesh here. And I think I went to cover 3 buzz there, and we weren't able to get a stop, and he gets a first down. Okay, so we'll speed it up really quickly so we can get out of here, because we're going to get to some very interesting stuff, I believe. He goes back to gun tray open offset, and he does it again. So perfect timing, right? So when I see, look, I'm already on this player. I know it's coming. So I know it's spot drop. I wanted to jump this route. And look how my backfield players, he didn't know that I was going to jump this. He panics. And my backfield players just drop in the spot drop coverage. They don't match. They don't drive on the quarterback running, right? And that's just a fundamental problem of the game of Madden, right? They really don't have push calls in the game to deal with 4 strong and things of that nature. Okay, so it is what it is. I'm guaranteed if I tinker with it, we can come up with something, but we shouldn't have to, right? Should be fundamental calls in the game to stop problems like this. So then he goes back to this formation, and you know what? I'm going to take care of this gap outside. I'm going to take the backside, well, the strong side safety, and I'm going to take care of the C gap. And my inside apex defender is going to make a play, right? You would think so, because I'm allowing him to roam free by taking care of this gap and for him to spill out to the outside. And as you see, he's very slow making a play. So that's 2 times in one game. Look at how I spill it back inside to him, right? I did it again, right? So we're in cover 4. I take that safety. I'm going to spill here. Look, we have it free for you to get lunch. You're going to push in that B gap and make a tackle, right? It's there. No. Right? So, seeing stuff like that in replay is just very frustrating, right? It is what it is. So we just move on, and he's in, look, gun tray, open offset again, right? Oh, and this is embarrassing, right? So I'm like, he's going to do it again, right? There's the motion. I'm going to jump the route. And I jump it, and we got him. And then I'm not going to lie, if he would have got on the mic and would have said something demeaning, he would have been 100% justified, because I've never been boned so hard in my life, right? I mean, that's where you get to where you develop a scheme off of 4 strong. That same motion triggered me to attack the back, thinking that it was going to be the HB swing again. And because we don't have push call alerts, I just took a random player and did that, and I'm forced to do that in the spur of the moment. And he has a play to counteract that with, an underneath route from the number 1 receiver, filling into the void that I vacated. That was just an exceptional play. You really can't knock a guy for destroying you like that, right? So we go ahead and score, and now it's 23-23. We got to stop him, right? 1st and 10, he goes to this formation again. I believe I'm in quarters, and I'm going to fulfill the C gap. Look at that. Look how I rotate late, and our back, I'm not going to even say our backer made a play there. I'm going to say that the back ran right into him. But we're spilling it to him, right? Look how we rotated late, and we were able to fulfill the outer gap and almost make a tackle. He goes to this formation again, and he runs it again to the outside, and we get a stop on 3rd and 2. Now, I wanted to show this replay. I'm in cover 4, and this is one of the benefits of cover 4. Look at our safety who made the tackle. You see how in cover 4, at the snap of the ball, he's taking read steps forward because he's involved in the run fit. They could be a lot more aggressive in the run fit, which is where cover 4 can be a lot better than your typical 2-man cover 2 zone, because the safeties don't have run fits in those particular sets. So here he's in empty. I decided to simulate pressure while playing cover 4 palms. It's something that I do. I think I made a video on this particular tactic. Maybe I'll leave a link if I can find it. And we get to 4th and 2. One of the problems with this formation, though, with palms, when you play palms against empty, is that this player is actually aligned improperly while playing cover 4 palms against empty or trip sets, okay? This defender, in real life, he's supposed to play with outside leverage, not inside leverage of the number 2. Okay, so that's one of the ways your opponent or you can attack a player who plays palms coverage against a set like this. He's just not able to locate the number 2 on a deep route. So had my opponent have waited for the number 2 to get deeper down the field, this could have been a touchdown. But I believe this fake pressure in the middle is what forced him to get rid of the ball quickly, and that's the benefit of simulating pressure. So he has hot feet, and he just gets rid of the ball a little bit too early. Had he have waited, it would have been wide open deep down the field. Okay, so we're 4th and 2. He goes to weak slot close, and this is where I'm like, hey, I remember when he ran this formation before, he ran mesh. So that's probably his money play. It was on 3rd and 4. So he needs this down. He needs it. So he's probably going to run mesh. So I decided to run cover 9. Cover 9 is the closest coverage to running steal. Steal is a coverage that's great, in my opinion, against mesh and Y corner and air raid concepts. I don't think he ran mesh there. However, we were able to get a stop. It was just an errant throw. He overthrew the flat defender, and we were able to go ahead and score and win the game. But I want to showcase to you something that I developed in the practice field in regards to cover 9. All right, so this is how we prepare ourselves for when we run into a particular issue later. I like cover 9 against mesh type concepts, but when they reduce to splits like this, it can be a little bit challenging. in regards to how the game is coded. So we can watch and see what transpires here while playing against a mesh type concept. And as you see, I really want you to kind of pay attention to the 3 receiver hook player. For whatever reason, this player is bugged to death in this game in match coverage. He plays it horribly, right? It's kind of sad how we got to find the player that plays his position the worst in these match coverages, and then we're forced to user that player to make the coverage play a lot better. But this is what I do in cover 9. I take that safety on that side and I hammer down on a mesh concept from this side. So as you can see here, we hammer down and we're looking at this unit on this side, the 2 receiver side, and we're looking for something to poach inside. So if we see someone dragging over the middle, then we just go ahead and overtake that route. So I figured out a way to play this so much better. What if we man the 3 receiver hook player on the number 3 on this side? And if you guys watched my 2 clip video, a variant of 2 match, we did pretty much the similar thing. And watch how we get a switch concept with the backer on the back going to the flat. And then what transpires, so what happens is the linebacker is man-to-man on this player. But when this player goes to the flat, he realizes that he's going to be out-leveraged to the flat. So you will see him point, which is communication to this player. Hey, as you see him pointing right now, you have to take man-to-man on this player. And in that switch, now the backer takes the responsibility of that player. So this vertical hook will now be the responsibility of our linebacker. So we knock out a lot of birds with one stone, because now that linebacker isn't playing 3 receiver hook, because we know it plays like garbage in the game. He really almost plays like a QB spy in that particular instance. But now we force him to get a switch going, and now he's playing vertical hook while that outside defender mans up the back and the flat. So now that flat isn't available as well. Okay, so you'll see it here. I man up the number 3, and what we do is we take the safety and we do exactly what we were doing before. I'm watching this side and I'm looking for a underneath route if they're running mesh, and then we just overtake that route. And I want you to watch and see what transpires with these adjustments. All we did is we manned up the 3 receiver hook player on the back. You will see, since that back goes to the flat, they get a switch going, and now it plays a million times better against that. So I've tried that same adjustment against a plethora of different plays from that formation, and it's sound in structure, right? So that's one of the things you got to make sure when you find, like, if you run into a problem. There was a play, what is it called, like RPO read flat. I believe they banned that in Madden, in like the MCS. And they ban it because it's just so horribly coded to where it leaves the user, the defense, with a limited amount of options to defend it. Now, I'll never forget, I ran across a YouTuber, I'm not going to give any names, it's just an example, where he was mad that they did that because he felt like there was a way that we could defend it. But then you watch his tutorial on how you defend it, and it's like he just doesn't understand. He was doing things to the defense that was just structurally unsound to the defense. That's where, if we have to do something that makes the defense structurally unsound to defend something, then that's just not balanced at all. Because if I'm forced to make an adjustment that doesn't make any sense to defend one play, well, my opponent can come out in that same formation. You don't know if I'm running that play or not, but we have to assume that you are, so we make our adjustments, but you're running something completely different that just destroys our broken coverage, right? Maybe we leave the back end of the coverage wide open because we're forced to use that player to deal with the bug in this play, and etc., right? That's why whenever you come up with like an adjustment in the coverage, you got to test that coverage against a wide variety of different route combinations and plays from that formation to make sure that it's not something that where you're just flipping a coin. You're hoping that they're running the play that it's good against, but if they don't, then you're screwed, right? That's just not the way you want to play the game, right? So anyways, I ran that same play across a lot of different plays, and it checked out. It's fine, Now, granted, it's still weak in some areas, right? So if they were to run something like 2 inside deep breaking routes from the 2 wide receiver side, then that's something that, where you may have issues because you can get out leveraged with that deep half safety because you're forced to take the first deep inside route as the backside safety. But that's a situation where, okay, we're weak, but it's still adequate, right? We can still somewhat, provide some form of a resistance to the end zone as opposed to doing something structurally unsound. Then on top of that, it plays very, very well against a wide variety of different things that people can run from that formation. So that's that. That was the fourth game of this account. So we ran into some interesting things in this video. My opponent was a little tough there, man. I thought I was going to lose the game. And, it really sucks playing with bad teams because, watching the replay, I actually learn more things as I watch the replay because you get to see, man, why was this not working when I was shooting that gap? And then I noticed that my linebacker was just pure garbage, right? Making ghost tackles and etc. But it is what it is. It's a good learning experience. I hope you guys picked up some form of insight in this video. I think the biggest insight was the funnel technique from Cover 9. Maybe you guys can utilize that in your games against reduced splits and see what you can get in your games. So I'll leave it at that. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you keep coming back for more, man. Peace.